a sonic speed, but inside, one of the most stunning discoveries. There is no feeling of movement at all.
Flying on a commercial plane has gone from a glamorous experience to one that many travelers see as a chore. Here are your rights as a passenger if you run into these common gripes while flying the friendly skies. It is not illegal for airlines to overbook their flights. Most airlines overbook their flights to compensate for no-shows. Airlines are required to ask for volunteers who are willing to give up their seats for compensation before bumping anyone involuntarily. If there are not enough volunteers in an overbooked flight, airlines can bump passengers. Airlines set their own criteria for who gets bumped. It might be by ticket cost or the time the passenger arrived at the gate. Passengers who are bumped must be compensated, but it's up to the airlines to determine the form and amount of that compensation. If a fellow passenger becomes disruptive, it's up to the airline to decide how to handle the situation. Airlines have a lot of discretion on how to go about this. For example, removing the disruptive passenger off the flight or diverting the plane.
Sir, you're going to need to collect your belongings and come with me.
Under federal rules, airlines cannot hold passengers on a domestic flight for more than 3 hours on the tarmac. There are a few exceptions, such as safety or security reasons. Otherwise, airlines are required to get travelers in the air within 3 hours or let them off the plane. If your plane is stuck on a tarmac, the airline is required to provide food and drinking water within 2 hours of a delay. Airlines set their own policies on how to accommodate passengers whose domestic flights are delayed. Passengers whose international flights are delayed may be able to get compensation. If your flight is canceled, most airlines will rebook you on their first flight to your destination, on which space is available, at no additional charge. Contrary to popular belief, for domestic flights, airlines are not required to compensate passengers whose flights are delayed or canceled. One more tip. If you have a complaint about a flight experience, don't just file it through the airline. Also file it through the Federal Transportation Administration so that it's investigated.